Hey y'all, we are back after an amazing and really busy weekend because, of course, in the midst of WrestleMania, there was still Wild Superheroes, and we're here to discuss all the goings on of the show. We had lots of tag team action, we had stealing shenanigans, and we had the debut of a new tag team as well. This is Steph and Cat Talk Wow.
Yeah, yeah. Making her way to the mic. They start dimming the lights. You start feeling alright. From Birmingham, home of the Teddy Longs and the Ruben Studders. More once you discover. For all of the lovers, Whitney Houston and Roman Reigns. For all of the lovers, and Mickey James and Marvin Gaye. For all of the lovers, and Sasha Banks, Janelle Monáe, Silk, Sonic, and Paige. Allow me to say, look, I just found a place, sweet escape for every one of us. I was kinda late, so I just made it up the struggle bus. Walking by the faith, cause I know it's right in front of us. Yo, I ain't with the hate.
Hey y'all, welcome to a brand new episode of Steph and Cat Talk Wow, brought to you by the Hardy Wrestling Podcast and In Cat We Trust. We are so happy to be before you today on this Wow Wednesday after an astounding and history making week in the world of professional wrestling. Of course, like I said earlier, we know WrestleMania just passed and everybody is still reeling over all of the changes that have been made and all of the amazing things that have happened in this weekend. But of course, WoW is still very much a thing that's happening, that did happen this weekend, and we wanted to still dedicate some time to talk about it. Of course, I'm your girl, Stephanie Hardy, host and creator of the Hardy Wrestling Podcast, writer for Daily DDT, and color commentator featured in various promotions. Please book your girl for all of your various events. But of course, I'm not alone. I am with my amazing co host, the creator of In Cat We Trust, the creator of the Women of Color in Wrestling panel, an amazing writer for Daily DDT and other platforms, and an all around super mom and sweet person who I got to see this past weekend for only for a little while. She is Katrina Blake. How are you, Kat?
I am okay, tired, but okay. And it was definitely a very busy not even weekend, week in wrestling. There's events, all types of events leading up until WrestleMania, and then we did have WoW. And so yeah, it's been a very hectic week, I think, for a lot of us wrestling.
Absolutely. It really has, but it's also been a pretty joyful week for the most part because I feel like if more than anything else this weekend just reminds you of why you love wrestling in the first place. Not even just because of the amazingness of the athletes and the grandeur of the event itself, but also because of the people that you can be surrounded by who love wrestling just as much as you do. And the moments that are just, a part of it as well that make you realize, you know what, dang, I really love wrestling. And it's just really beautiful, all the things that took place within this weekend. But of course, we are here to talk about Wild Superheroes. And speaking of WrestleMania, I actually ran into the Tonga Twins at Wale Mania for a few minutes because, of course, when you're a wrestler during WrestleMania weekend, you're running all over the place. But I was so happy to see them physically and actually say hi to them. So shout out to Kona and Chaos who were at Wale Mania as well as WrestleCon as well. I was so happy to see them be a part of all the festivities with that. So it was really cool to see them there, and just see everyone else. Thank you so much for the love and support throughout all the events and everything, and just for all the love I got on social media for being at the trip anyway. And of course, we got Eric Isaac in the comments, posted up and parked ready before the show even begins, saying congratulations to Cody Rhodes and Bailey. And I know that you had fun in Philly last week, Queen Steph, hashtag wrestling rules. I really did have fun, and congratulations to everybody who won and everybody who participated in every wrestling event, even surrounding WrestleMania as well. I did ask Katrina if she had adrenaline in her soul off camera. She does not. She was not a part of the Cody fandom, so I'm sorry. Because there are a lot of Roman fans that were on social media sharing their feelings, crying, being sad and all the things. So, Katrina, how did you feel about this weekend and all of the above?
No, weekend was cool. I mean, I did have my issues with Sunday, but I'm fine. I did say I needed to grieve for my tribal chief, sad face. But he's still there. He posted his TikTok, I think yesterday, or it might have been
Mm-hmm.
today, and he was like, he's day one. I'm like, that's right, because I'm a day one as well. I'm a day one for you, and so it's okay. I still don't care about the story, but for everybody who did, power to you. Okay, you got it. You got it. I'll give you all that.
Yeah.
That's as far as I can get because I didn't cry, but I was like, oh no, even though I figured, but like I was like, okay, he's fucking losing, but like I cried on the inside, not the outside.
Yes, he held on. He held on. Like, I will give credit where credit is due. Roman Reigns held on to that title for 4 years, for an entire 4 years. And that is something that is unheard of almost, in the modern era of wrestling. So I'll give him credit and say, thank you to him for that. And, I can't wait to see how he's going to start over. But having a new champion like Cody Rhodes, who is just, to me, the perfect embodiment of love and passion for people and all of the things. I'm a baby face, so that's the kind of stuff I like. So, I'm happy and I'm just happy just all around with how everything went. But something that I wasn't entirely happy about was how this episode of WoW started, okay? So this episode of WoW got started with David McLane welcoming everybody into this episode of WoW and introducing the WoW World Champion, Abilene Maverick, who seems to have a stranglehold on the title because she keeps trying to come up with all kinds of different scenarios to keep herself from having to defend the title against the Beast and all the above. And she came in limping on one crutch this time, not two, but one, and with a bandage on her head and holding the title. And David was not here for any of the lies. He was just like, look, I don't believe you really need the crutch. The hoax is over. I saw the clip from last week. I saw you with the poster of the paw on the doctor's office. I know that this isn't real. You really need to chill. But Abilene was like, no, David, that was a real doctor. I have to tell you something because I did sign a contract with a person to defend my title against. And David was really wondering about that. Like, okay, so did you sign the contract with the Beast? And she was like, no, I signed it with someone else of my choosing. And because of all of this drama going on with this contract of facing somebody else outside of the Beast got angry and ran out to confront Abilene Maverick. And Abilene Maverick, of course, got some healing in her bones and ran out of the ring. And David McLean was like, look, I'm really sorry about all of these shenanigans, but best believe that when it's time for you to have your chance at the world title, you will get it. And the Beast said, Abilene, I'm gonna get you. And when I do, that belt is mine. So, Katrina, how did you feel about the shenanigans of Abilene Maverick and how the Beast reacted to what she said?
The Beast was a lot nicer, to be fair. You know how I feel about Abilene because girl has been doing shenanigans as I've seen her on a TV screen. And I'm like, girl, you did all of that, and it was told that you are fine, and then you're coming out here with more theatrics because that's what it felt like. More theatrics like you weren't already, it's already been said that you were cleared. And so you did all the theatrics and then decide you're going to have your own, like, you're going to decide who you choose, which means it's more shenanigans because it's probably somebody that you think you can beat or somebody who's not going to fight you hard or something like that. And so it's like, girl, Beast reacted a lot nicer than I would have. I believe would have got flipped personally. She would have got flipped. You know, um, yeah, she would have talked about Cody. She would have got a crossroads. If it was up to me personally, because like, girl, please. So she was nicer than I would have been. I'm waiting impatiently for her to get her day, like where she loses, and hopefully she can look at herself about like how much shenanigans she engaged in. I'm thinking she's even more irritating to me than how you felt about Penelope. I feel like, like at least like Penelope might have, talked some smack, but at least she, wrestled if she needed to wrestle. If she needed to, she might have complained and she might have had some help in some way, but she did wrestle. And it wasn't all this, like, let's pretend I'm hurt or other stuff. Like, she didn't do all that. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm starting to think she's a little bit worse in that regard of how she acts. But yeah, Beast, I can't wait till she get her either.
Yeah, I can't wait either because all of these excuses that she keeps giving over and over again, it's just really, it's getting long in the tooth. Like it's just really getting on my nerves. And I'm just like, look, Abilene, why can't you just put on your big girl britches and just fight the beast? Just fight her and prove that you deserve to have the title that you just seem to just enjoy carrying around for the aesthetic of it. It's just really annoying for me, and I'm just so tired of it. Like, girl, how long do you think you can keep this up? Like, come on. Nobody, we're all adults, we're all not dumb, and we can clearly see that you are putting up a front in order to keep the title. It's just annoying. And then my thing is with the other person that she's claimed to have signed this contract with, like I feel like you, it could be somebody who she thinks she could just run through and beat. But then also like me, because I'm a complete overthinker and I watch TV entirely too hard sometimes, I wonder if it's possible that she may have signed a contract with Adriana Gambino somehow, because she has this weird plan with Reina to run through everybody like she did with Princess Aussie, and they're working together, so it might be some type of ungodly contract with that. But I don't know. I guess that's just my brain just working overtime with that. But you just never know, and we just have to see that unfold. But either way, like, oh my God, like Abilene, chill. So, after all of that, we get our first match, which was Reina Del Rey, who came out with Adriana Gambino, versus Princess Aussie. And this, of course, took place because Reina Del Rey attacked Princess Aussie with that chair, like I mentioned earlier. And this was really interesting because this was the first time I've seen Princess Aussie kind of look a little bit nervous and scared going into a match because she was really watching her back even as she made her entrance when she was taking off her cape. She was watching her back because she didn't know if Reina was just going to attack her like she did before. And she was low key sort of ducking and dodging her every time Reina went for a strike. And that's not to say that she was afraid because Princess Aussie really isn't that afraid of anyone, but it was just really different because since we've been watching Raw, I've never seen her look so, cautious before in ring. And she did start fighting like in the early going and she had a good run in, but it felt like throughout Reina was just really dominant throughout by, breaking her arms and twisting her arms and stepping on her back and trying to choke her out and everything. Like throughout the match, Reina was just trying to break her so she can keep her from moving incredibly quick. Because something that Reina has is a lot of power and she has the ability to slow you down with her clubbing blows. And Princess Aussie is a high flyer and she moves relatively quickly in the ring. And Ray did an amazing job of breaking her down in that aspect. And right when it looked like Princess Aussie could have had an opening to get the advantage by hitting the cutter from down under, she climbed up on the top rope and Adriana Gabino grabbed her ankle and stopped her from climbing up there. And Reina Del Rey grabbed her and slung her across the ropes and hit a rope spinning neck breaker, which caused her to win the match. So Reina won that match, and Adriana Gambino looked like she was pleased with that result. And you just hate to see it because Princess Aussie really looked like she was trying to work her way back up the ladder, only to get knocked down by these two in the past 2 weeks. So, yeah, it sucks. So, Katrina, how did you feel about this match and the performance of both of these women and what this means for Princess Aussie and her future?
I mean, it's unfortunate. I feel like in regards to the title situation, she finally got her title match and didn't celebrate it properly and had to deal with all of that. And then, she was a fighting champion for the most part. And then she gets put in a match with probably the only time we've seen, I believe, where there was that many people in a match for a title, like a title defense. Outside of when the match at LA Comic Con, which was a little bit different because there was no champion in that situation. That was the first time she had to deal with that many people, I think. And then to have somebody who you couldn't really prepare for because she kind of popped in and then she did what she did and won it. And then she didn't, it was all the nonsense, even with the rematch situation. And then to finally, like, all right, then you kind of dealing with like also some stuff that's being said by Crush about that friendship. I'm sure that's a personal thing that might be hindering her in some capacity. And then now you're dealing with this. And so you're thinking you get to fight your way back up, and then you have somebody who we haven't seen in a little bit decide, like, you know what, I got this. And this is what happens. And then the first time that you're just like, I feel like to an extent she might be questioning her skills and not like I wouldn't use scared it. I don't think she was scared. I do think it's more so she's even questioning. She might just be at a place of influx of, well, what do I do in a situation and where do I go from here when it's now like you are to an extent semi alone in this. You know, Crush has moved on to the trios and she's basically implied as like she like that friendship right now. And you know, you have all these other people having, and then you're kind of alone in this right now. And so I'm sure that's like a lot to deal with in trying to win at somebody who, again, I don't even know what she gains out of this, you know, because I could have sworn Reina wanted a title shot before as well. You can say wholeheartedly that you can just support Adriana, and this is very strange to me because I'm like, you're not gunning for it either. You're not going to double cross. I feel like she might, but you know, Reina Del Rey has always been a bit like brutal in the way she wrestles, and so I wasn't not expecting anything less than that. But I do feel for Princess Aussie because I feel like it's just a lot happening, and it felt like every time in regards to this title, there's been a lot of nonsense, and even afterwards, it's been some nonsense, and she's just kind of keep getting that type of thing thrown at her, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah, it is unfortunate. And then on top of that, considering Reina has now aligned with Adriana, you can't help but to think that if Crush didn't feel as harshly as she felt about Princess Aussie and their friendship, and whatever, that Crush would have been out there with her to even up the odds when it came to that situation. And now Princess Aussie is all alone. And that really has to suck when it comes to stuff like that. Like, I hate that for her. It's like now no one really is by her side in this aspect. It's like she's been attacked. She's been knocked back down the ladder in a sense towards, trying to get in the title picture again. And now it's just really unfortunate for her. You really hate to see stuff like that. But then in light of Adriana Gambino still being undefeated and with her getting Reina Del Rey to be on her team in that way, I just really feel like there's a very negative, really sad um plan at play where she might come out either on top or really close to being on top. Who really even knows? Like, there's something really dastardly at work. So either way, it's just really crazy stuff. But yeah, we just gotta wait and see how it unfolds. But we do feel sad for Princess Aussie. She's definitely still one of our faves, and we do want to see her get her things and gain healing from all of the anger and pain that she's had to go through. So yeah, you just hate to see stuff like that. So after that, we went into match number two, which was a tag team match. The first of many tag team matches in this episode between Gigi Gianni and Lil J Boogie of the Brat Pack versus the Mighty Might Sugar and Spice. And of course, the Brat Pack was accompanied by BK Rhythm, which means that if we got BK's bars. Brr, 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 brr. BK dropping some hot bars on us. So, before the match got started, BK decided to diss the Mighty Might. She said, "You two might be quick, but our wit is way faster. Sugar and spice, that's a recipe for disaster. Gigi and Boogie, man, they got this fight. It's gonna be, wait, hold on. It's gonna be a quick fight, a quick night because this is our spotlight." Now, of course, Katrina probably hates that because she hates all of BK's bars. But we're going to move on and talk more about the match as a whole. Gigi and Lil J Boogie have pretty good chemistry as a tag team, even though I still feel that Lil J Boogie is kind of out of her wits with these two because she's just not as mean as them. But I also still very much feel that the Mighty Mites are probably one of the best tag teams that WoW has at this point, because the level of athleticism and acrobatics that these women showed in this match is just second to none. Spice was in there, and the way that she actually twisted up both BK and Gigi by bouncing on the top rope or bouncing from the middle rope and twisting up their arms into sort of like a whip type of situation and knock them backwards was like amazing as heck. And I don't know what it's called, but we need to figure out a name for it because I loved every piece of it. Like, they are so talented and I just cannot get over it. And Sugar, she's really talented as well. They even mentioned on commentary how she was the first Guatemalan person to have scored a 4.0 GPA, and I think that's amazing. So she brought that intellect to WoW. And even when it looked like, she was down and out when Gigi and BK were not Gigi and BK, but Gigi and Lil J Boogie were ganging up on her. Um she was able to fight through. And once she tagged in Spice, Spice was really the difference maker. And it was just so good to see the both of them really like working together in that aspect. And even though BK was trying to cheat for them and trying to do the album cover with them and everything, the Mighty Mites fought through and won the match. They won their very first match on WoW. And it was so good to see that happen. Like, oh my God, these girls are so talented. And I'm just so happy for Sugar and Spice here. And they are definitely on my list of one of my favorite tag teams on the show now. It was a really great match. It was a really great tag stuff going here. I really enjoyed it. So, Katrina, how did you feel about the athleticism of the Mighty Mites and them getting their first victory on WoW?
I thought it was great. We've seen them come in, came in with like excitement and, wanting to do what they do, and they haven't been successful in that. And so to have them have a first win, I was fine with. It's unfortunate because I do like J Boogie. And I do think that she's a little bit out of her league, not in skill, but out of her league of what she's getting from the girls, that is BK Rhythm and Gigi. I think they're more mean girlish. And so I don't get that vibe from her. If anything, she's maybe the girl that might don't want trouble or something. And so she might just kind of follow, but might not engage in it. And that's the vibe I get from her. And so after BK's bars, I'm like, girl, look at this. Cause like she said that whole like you may be quick, whatever she was saying, and I'm like, all right, Ice Spice, like what was the purpose of this line? Like, I don't know. It was just yeah, I just I can't with her and her bars. I wish she stops. But like
Hold on. What's
I
your beef with Ice Spice? This is
no,
interesting.
I have no problem. I just thought about that line when that was said, and I was like, all right, Ice Spice. That's I just thought of that's like automatically that's where I went to when that was said.
Okay.
But I mean, I'm not like a huge. I'm not, but I have no problem with her either. It's just like whatever. Like you get your coins, sis. You're not really bothering anybody, so I can't complain in that regard. But no, I'm really happy for the girls, even though they fought well, and this is with J Boogie and Gigi. I still like that we got this is a team kind of, and I mean as in they came in as a team, and it wasn't a team that kind of just got thrown together in some weird way. And so it's nice that they finally got it, and they was able to showcase even more what they can do, because I felt like we've been seeing that, but this match I felt like they really kind of shined a bit with showing how good they are. And so I'm definitely looking forward that if this may lead them to the path of a tag championship, who knows? Who knows? We might get that, but I enjoyed the match.
I really did. I was very thrilled for them. I was like, look at Sugar and Spice, because it seemed like when they first came on, they were a little bit on the struggle bus a bit, but the talent was still there and they were definitely still shining. And then, of course, they participated in a trios tournament and they did really great there as well with their two partners, with Kita Rush and I believe. Oh my gosh, I forgot who their other partner was, but they were in the trios tournament like twice. And they did do a good job, but see them now get a hard fought victory against Gigi and Lil J Boogie was just like amazing to watch. So big ups to the Mighty Mites, and I hope they continue to do great things and possibly qualify for those tag team titles. It would be really great. Let's get some new people in that title picture. And speaking of the people who keep trying to insert themselves in the tag team title picture, we go backstage and we see Miami Sweet Heat and the fabulous Lana Star basically raid the locker room of the WoW Tag Team Champions, the Mother Truckers, and steal something out of their WoW bag and sort of have this devious look on their face like they really did something. So after that, we go to commercial and we come back from commercial. And this leads us into match number 3, which was Miami Sweet Heat, the Carlson Twins, being accompanied by Lana Star, versus a brand new tag team in the form of the Dojo Defenders. And their names are Karakai, who is from Toronto, Canada, to your left of the screen. And to your right of the screen, we have Tara Strike, who's from St. Louis, Missouri, who I did mention on the show last week as someone that I know personally and interviewed for NWA Empower years ago as Tootie Lynn Ramsey, who took Chelsea Green, who is in WWE now, to the limit for the Women's Invitational Cup, which Chelsea wound up winning. But she was a hometown girl, and everybody was definitely on her side, and I was too. And she is so amazing. So to see her making her television debut in this way outside of NWA and here on this show means the absolute world to me. So congratulations to her. Oh my God, I'm just so happy for her. And if I talk about it anymore, I'm just gonna start just yelling. So let me chill and get back to the match. So um, Tara started Tara slash Tootie started the match against Lindsay, and she was hitting her with all kinds of strikes and everything, and she even hit her with a fireman's carry takeover type of hip toss, and it was just like really cool to see her move that quickly. You could tell that that really shook up Lindsay and Lori to see how fast Tara and Kara were moving in there because they kind of thought, oh, well, let's just run through them because they're the new girls. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No ham, no turkeys. They were popping off in this match and they were moving really quickly. And it took some time, but Lindsay and Lori did isolate Kara away from Tara and the and her corner and proceeded to try to work her down by kneeing her in the back and chopping her and throwing her into their corner and just attacking her and stomping down on her like they do all their opponents. And then of course you have Lana Star being the X factor and continuing to play those mind games and grabbing her by her hair and pulling on her. And something that I noticed is that whenever they like to play those games and yank on their opponents, it's always like they like to play the numbers game while the referee isn't looking. In this match, Lindsay and Lana were grabbing on Kara in front of the referee as the referee was telling them to let go. These heifers have gotten bolder. No disrespect, but they have definitely gotten bolder in their approach when it comes to how they play their games. How bold do you have to play those dirty games while the referee is actively telling you to let go? Excuse me? No. That really upset me. But in the midst of that, Tara gets tagged right back in and she starts lighting Lori up with a whole bunch of kicks and everything. And I was just over the moon for her, like, girl, get them together. But Lori and Lindsay proceeded to gang up on her. And even as Kara tagged in again, they knocked Tara off of the apron multiple times, and then you have Lori hitting a flying drop kick right there to Kara in the ropes, and then they hit their fab jab onto Kara to win the match. And this was a really good showing on the part of the Dojo Defenders. They really did a good job. But of course, Miami Sweet Heat has a point to prove. They want to get back in that title picture again. And Lana Star cut a promo basically demanding that they get put back into the title picture and even showing what they stole from the mother truckers, which turned out to only be their gear that they come out with, which is their vest and their hat and everything, saying, are these clothes the clothes of champions? No, like you need to get some champions that wear better clothes than this. We are the actual champions and we deserve another shot. And before an answer could be given from David McLane, the mother truckers came out there and ran them off and threw them out of the ring and just, gave their 2 cents as to why they feel like, look, they feel like Miami Sweet Heat is just doing too much. Like, look, if y'all want to fight, we'll give you a fight. Like my mama and Holly was like, look, my mama raised me to be a good woman, so if you guys want to fight, I'll give you a fight. All you had to do was ask. And in case you forgot, we have 2 words for you: honk honk. So I'm pretty sure Miami Sweet Heat is going to get their match, even though I really feel like they shouldn't be at this point. But they just love to bug everybody for their chances. So and then you and stealing their gear, really? Come on. But Katrina, how did you feel about this match and the performance of the Dojo Defenders in their WoW debut and the lengths that Lindsay and Laurie went to get the attention of the Mother Truckers?
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot for Miami Sweet Heat because like I don't even do all that. Like why? Like you guys were champions multiple times. You don't need to go this hard. Like you don't need to go this hard. You don't need to go this hard at all. And this is nothing because I think the Dojo Defenders. I think this was a really good first showing for them. It was. I was excited to see them, and I do think they move very quickly. I think this would actually be quite useful in the future for them here, and so I think that was good stuff. But this is one of those where I feel that Miami Sweet Heat, the twin thing, the sister thing, they have a longer time together. Sometimes those just that outpowers other things at times. I do think they need to chill with getting a title shot though. I don't know how they just keep getting back in the picture so quickly. I think they need to relax. I think this is one of those times I'm gonna have to say, listen here, David. Put your foot down. I don't know because you are the guy in charge, so you gotta tell them. Listen, you gotta if Princess Aussie gotta work her way back up. Guess what that means? They need to work their way back up. You don't have one match and think, okay, we back in. I mean, if everything was that easy, well, to think about how many times titles can change. If you just need one match to get back to the top, then it would be different for all of wrestling if that was the case, and it's not that way. And so, while it was a good match, I do think that even to the point you're like taking their shirts is like and this is not even like any like shade at all to the mother truckers, but it's like a blue t-shirt and a hat. Like, guys, you're acting like you even took something like this is gonna stop them from wrestling is wild. Like you didn't even take anything of any of you. It would have been better to steal the title. That would have been better. What you guys did to Princess Aussie and took her title. That would have been better. That would have been more like, oh, okay, you're trying to cause a problem with stealing the shirt and a hat. Like, I mean, oh, hey, all right, Miami Sweet. Okay. But otherwise, it was a good match. But I just need them to chill. I need them to stop. They're doing way, way, way too much.
Yeah, they are. And it's so funny when they took their clothes and they revealed that it was their clothes. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of a piece of women's wrestling history of that time when Saraya slash Paige had her gear taken and stolen by I believe it was Team Bella, if I'm not mistaken. And she had to go out there and wrestle in like a cartoon kind of clown dress, but she still wore it and wrestled and won the match anyway. And that's really what it reminded me of. And I was like, man, this is crazy. I know that's probably a deep cut for a lot of people in terms of remembering what happened in that era, but really like that stuck out to me a whole lot when that happened. So that's just how my brain works. But that's really what that reminded me of. And I was just like, and what's so funny is Holly Swag even mentioned like you guys could have taken the titles since you want them so bad. Like y'all could have took the titles in the locker room instead of our clothes. Like and then she proceeds to question their intelligence by saying that they're not the brightest crayons in the box. And that sent me that sent me over the moon. I was like, "Oh my god." Like that's right up there like oh my god, like with every insult where somebody says that you're really not that bright or you're really just stupid or something. Like you're not the brightest crayons in the box. You're not the sharpest tool in the shed. Like all of that. Like that was amazing and I feel like I'm going to use that at some point. But yeah, I am kind of tired of Miami Sweet Heat sort of, shoehorning their way in to the title picture all the time just because they feel like they can. I mean, I understand that you guys think you're fabulous and you're rich and you guys are easy money and all the things, but everything isn't about you. There's an entire tag division that wants to come after those tag titles. You have the Tonga Twins who deserve another shot. You have the Mighty Mites, even though they just got their first victory, they might want a shot. You have like I mean, and if Goldie Collins and the person that she tagged with last week wanted to go for the tag titles, they low key deserve a shot. Like, what makes you think that y'all are the only people who deserve shots over and over and over again? It's like, that's not how life works. It's like, if you don't get an opportunity that you went for, you have to go back to the drawing board, figure some stuff out, and climb up the ladder again. everything is not meant to be handed to you just because you think you cute or because you think you have all this money or because there's a level of privilege. That's not how life works. So I'm gonna need for Lindsay and Lori and Lana as well to sit down. And that goes for Penelope and Vicky Lynn McCoy too. And yeah, they're catching these strays, but I don't care. Like they're all acting like they're entitled and they need to chill. So yeah, I just really need for them to chill and just give other people chances to go for the tag titles. Like, cause it's not all about them. It's just not. And I hope that when they do get a chance, the mother truckers prove to them that they are the superior tag team and that other women can and deserve a chance. Cause it's getting annoying at this point. So after that, we get the announcement that this weekend we will be seeing the Beast take on Goldie Collins, and this is going to be really interesting. I wonder how this match is going to go because Goldie Collins is growing, more and more each time in the ring. But how can she go up against somebody as imposing and also as angry and as focused as the Beast? But we gonna see this weekend. We gonna see. So please check it out wherever you watch WoW. Go on wowie.com and check out what channels it comes on for you. And also, you can watch it on YouTube the Monday after it airs on the weekend. You can also watch it on Vice. I did see that they do be showing episodes on Vice. You can watch it there too. And just, continue to support it as it continues to grow. So, this leads us to our main event. This was a 6-woman tag team match with Tormenta and Las Bandidas going up against the Island Dynasty of Tiki Chamorro and the Tonga Twins. And this match was pretty good. It was very hard hitting for the most part. With all of these women, they were doing an amazing job in this 6-woman tag. Um, it's almost like they came in hot and just started punching each other and wailing on each other immediately with a brawl. But then El Clan Latino proceeded to knock them down bit by bit. And it was just a really good hard hitting match. And usually you don't see the Tonga Twins get knocked down almost immediately in a match, but really Tormenta and Sylvia Sanchez really had them, dead to rights towards like the beginning part of the match after that brawl. But then, of course, after Chaos was able to tag in Kona, she came in and proceeded to beat on Angel Rose and Tormenta as well. And Tiki was able to sort of get some offense in, and she almost hit her Tiger Fate kick, but she got blocked mid kick, and then she got thrown out of the ring. But then she came back in the ring and actually hit a 6 suicide dive onto Sylvia and to Tormenta as well. And the Tonga Twins wound up hitting their Tonga no, it's not their Tonga twist onto Angel Rose in order to win the match. And the Island Dynasty were looking dominant and they were celebrating their win, and it was really great to see them get that win because we love the Island Dynasty here. But the fireworks did not end there. We get an argument between El Clan Latino. You have Sylvia, Angel, and Tormenta arguing amongst each other. And Sophia was on commentary, giving her 2 cents throughout the match. And she was, disappointed in them losing. And she expressed, her frustrations on commentary as the match was going on. But she gets in there, starts arguing with the girls, starts telling them everything that they're doing wrong, and Sylvia was looking like she had had enough, and she slapped the fire out of Sylvia. I mean, not out of Sylvia, out of Sophia. And that was the first time I had ever seen her actually get smacked or hit in this iteration of WoW. Now, of course, I can't fully speak to the past iterations. I don't know if she's been physically involved in that way, but Miss Ma'am got knocked out. It was crazy. I couldn't believe it. And that's really how it ended. They stormed out from each other, and that's how this episode of WoW ended. With El Clan Latino fighting and with Sophia Lopez getting knocked out. So, Trina, how did you feel about this match and the performance of both teams? And where El Clan Latino could even go from this point? Like, how do you come back from slapping your leader? Like, how do you do that?
I do think both teams performed well. I do think, that like I said, that you mentioned Tonga's not being knocked down so easily, but they were. And so that kind of speaks to the work of Sophia's girls. With that being said, though, I do like that, we got to see Tongas be the Tongas, but Tiki even, really just thriving, there with her confidence in the match. And you can really see that throughout this. And I was like, yes, this is what I wanted to see from, this is what I like to see from her. Again, she's such a sweet person. And so it's like, you're like, yes, get all that in there. And so it was good to see. With that being said, Sophia did this. This is partially on her because she did change a member. She did. She did say she felt she had to make a better choice and change the member. And maybe changing that member didn't work out in the long run because clearly there was some miscommunication there. I have never seen Tormenta argue with, you know, when Vivian, excuse me, when she, when she was there, in that team, like they might, and they teamed together as well, and I didn't see that level of like discord. And so you made a choice. This is what I was kind of saying about Coach. Like you made a choice, and then you wasn't happy with choices that you made. So you made choice, and then you go in there and say, "Well, this is all on you." But, ma'am, you're the greatest attorney. Like this is you partially responsible for some of this. Yeah, they didn't probably communicate properly in the ring, but you are also supposed to be the lady in charge. Was I surprised that she got slapped? I was. To be fair, I was surprised. I didn't expect that, but that tells me that I don't know. Can you come back from that? And I'm not saying it's not possible. Wrestling's wrestling at the end of the day. But personally, if I'm getting slapped, we're gonna have to bring it back that way first, and then I'm good. We don't need to be. They're gonna tell me twice. They're gonna disrespect me twice. That's not gonna happen. And so, yeah, it's unfortunate, but good for the Tongas and Tiki. Definitely good for them. But I don't know. I feel like you can't. There's not. You can only do so much with how this is. I don't think you can. I feel like this is. I don't know if there was some way felt about Vivian not being there. I don't know if it was just wasn't gelling. But I've never seen like even Tormenta being involved in that like arguing. I haven't seen, and this tells me there's something clearly wrong with the three of them as a unit as of right now. Doesn't mean they won't be fine in like a week or two, but as of right now, what we saw, there's something clearly not gelling.
Yeah, you have a great point about that. Like that's something that I was thinking about even before I watched this episode. It's just like, man, where is Vivian Rivera? Like they never had any of these crazy issues when Vivian was there with Sylvia and Sophia. Like that was never an issue with them. Like there was never any miscommunication. There wasn't any fighting. There wasn't any of that crazy stuff. And then when you throw Tormenta in there was never any fighting or misunderstanding with that. But then her getting an Angel Rose and just throwing Vivian away just because she ate the last two pins was just kind of, sad and disrespectful because she helped, El Clan Latino get to this point. So for you to just get rid of her for someone else who might not be gelling as well, it's just kind of disappointing. Like, where is Vivian? Like, I want Vivian back. Like, I want to see, can somebody just allude to where she is for us? Because I need that clarity. And because Vivian was actually one of my earlier favorites, from last season. So where is Vivian? Tell us. But other than that, man, like if you slap me, I'm gonna probably get you together too. Not even verbally. Like you and I are gonna have to like fight. Like, and I don't like to fight, and I am not a confrontational person. But if you're putting your hands on me, that's disrespectful. That is mad disrespectful. And I'm either gonna grab you by your hair and sling you, or you know, or just if you're a man, I'm gonna kick you in your balls. Like that's just something that just has to happen. Like I'm gonna have to destroy you somehow. Like you're getting scratched or something. Like I don't know. But either way, like that was just really crazy. And I just can't believe that she just got slapped down like that. Like cuz she never gets physical with anybody. I mean outside of interfering on behalf of her clients, of course. But we just got to see how this is going to go. Like I don't know. If you're me, I don't think you can come back from slapping me. We can't do it. We can't. But yeah, that's how this episode of WoW ended. Thank you guys so much for watching, all 20 of you. Thank you guys so much for watching this recap of this episode of WoW Superheroes. I'm so happy that we were able to do it and talk about this episode that aired while WrestleMania was going on. But either way, all wrestling is good wrestling. So we are up in here talking about this women's wrestling show that we love so very dearly. And of course, we always have all of our content. So if you have not watched any one of our interviews that we've done over the past few months with the WoW superheroes for Black History Month and for Women's History Month, what are you waiting for? Check it out. Check it out on both of our YouTube channels. They're all posted, so please check those out. We loved talking to all of those women. And of course, we have more stuff coming down the pike this week. And we're really excited about that. We will give that announcement later on, but we are excited to have more content and to interview these ladies more and more each time and give them a platform as we shower love and appreciation to them for giving us this amazing show. And of course, I am so happy to do this show with Katrina, my amazing co host, my amazing sister, my amazing tag team partner, all the things. So, Katrina, tell everybody where they can find and follow you and what you've got going on.
That was really sweet after the hour before this. That was very needed. Thank you. I can be found on most social media in Cat We Trust, everything but Facebook. The E is a three. Just follow my YouTube. I know I've been so like delayed with a lot of things, but it's been a weird 2024. And so I feel like I'm just really delayed and really behind with a lot of things. But just to repeat what Steph said, we are truly grateful for you guys watching us. We're truly grateful for WoW, trusting us with covering, but also trusting us with you know, talking to their girls. So we're really, really, really grateful. And what was said to us earlier, really just something I needed to hear. Truly, that we are grateful. But yeah, just follow my channel. I'm trying to get more stuff, guys. It's just been so hectic. It's been so much happening in a very short period of time, and so I feel like I'm like trying to reel it in. But definitely check that out. You would have some new stuff on my end, as well as we will have a new WoW interview out. So definitely check that out.
Absolutely. And of course, you can follow me, your girl Stephanie Hardy, on Instagram and Twitter at Queen Steph Hardy. And follow my show, The Hardy Wrestling Podcast, on Instagram at Hardy Wrestling Podcast and on Twitter at Hardy Wrestle Pod. Please also check out the YouTube channel, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and please check out everything I have on there from my interviews that are outside of WoW and just with people in wrestling in general, and check out my HWP extra episodes where I talk about specific matches and specific moments in wrestling, and just my regular episodes as a whole where I cover news and gossipish and give recaps of my favorite shows and talk about what I liked in wrestling that week. And of course, my interviews and also my special segments, as well as this fabulous show that we've built. So please check that out on my YouTube channel. And also read my articles on Daily DDT. I have a newer article that's out on why I believe Mercedes Moné should take the Ring of Honor World Women's title from Athena, because she did just retain it this past weekend in Supercard of Honor. And I feel like it would be cool if Mercedes did challenge her for it. So please read that article as well as my other articles as well. I also wrote an article on Trick and Mello and why their breakup will break the hearts of the NXT universe and how that fed into the main event of Stand and Deliver. Read that as well. And of course, creatively, I have so much more that I want to do. A new episode of the Hardy Wrestling Podcast will probably go up either tomorrow or Friday. More than likely Friday, because there's still a lot of stuff that we have to get ironed out after the WrestleMania stuff, and I just want to talk more about my trip. So please check that episode out, as well as book me for your shows. If you have any wrestling shows, whether it's in the Alabama area or even on the East Coast or even on the West Coast, book me, DM me or email me at hardywrestlingpodcast@gmail.com, and we will work out any type of deal or any type of rate, and we will make it work because I want to travel. I do travel, as you can see, not even just for my own enjoyment, but also for wrestling jobs as well. So please book your girl, book your girl, book your girl, because it is my goal to commentate next to Corey Graves and give him Southern sass. And if not, I'll probably commentate next to Nigel Zane or David McLane one day. You never know. I just want to be a part of the show in that way. So please book your girl so I can work my way up to that stage. And I'm trying to see, am I missing anything else? I don't know. But either way, if I'm missing anything else, just check out my social media and you'll see everything because it's all there. So, of course, this has been Steph and Cat Talk Wild, brought to you by the Hardy Wrestling Podcast and in Cat We Trust. And until next time, bye.